Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook are insane. Last night, the Denver Nuggets proved once again why they're one of the most dynamic teams in the league thanks to Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Russell Westbrook. Facing the Dallas Mavericks, this trio combined for an incredible night, showcasing the chemistry, individual brilliance, and ability to dominate in every aspect of the game. Their performances weren't just about the stats, though those were amazing. They demonstrated how perfectly these players complement each other. Let's start with Jokic, who quietly controlled the game as only he can. He finished with a triple-double, his third against the Mavericks this season, logging 10 points, 10 assists, and 14 rebounds. He shot an efficient 4 out of 7 from the field and added 1 out of 2 from deep. These aren't just numbers. They're proof of how Jokic influences the game at every level. His ability to balance his scoring, passing, and rebound makes him the engine of this team. Murray, on the other hand, was nothing short of spectacular. He exploded for 45 points, shooting an unbelievable 18 out of 26 from the field. He was locked in from three-point range, hitting 5 out of 9 attempts, and was perfect from the free throw line, going 4 for 4. But Murray didn't just score. He also contributed 6 assists and 2 steals, showing his ability to impact the game in multiple ways. His 32 points in the first half were a career highlight, outscoring the Mavericks' entire starting lineup at halftime. Westbrook's performance might not have had the same scoring fireworks, but his all-around impact was undeniable. He scored 9 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, dished out 3 assists, and added 3 steals and a block. At 36 years old and in his 17th season, Westbrook continues to defy expectations. His relentless energy, defensive effort, and ability to create chaos for opponents make him a critical piece for the Nuggets. What stands out most about this trio is how well they work together. Jokic and Westbrook have assisted each other 133 times this season, making them the second most connected duo in the league. When they're on the floor together, the Nuggets are nearly unstoppable. Their offensive rating of 121.6 is the best in the league. Their defensive rating of 110.5 ranks 8th, and their net rating of plus 11.1 is second overall. Those numbers aren't just impressive, they're elite. Jokic's historical achievements only add to the story. Last night, he became the fastest player in NBA history to reach 15,000 points, 7,500 rebounds, and 5,000 assists, achieving the feat in just 709 games. For context, Larry Bird, the previous record holder, took 799 games to reach the same milestones. Jokic is also just the third center in NBA history to record more than 5,000 assists, joining Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that exclusive club. Murray's scoring performance added another layer to his already impressive resume. By dropping 30 or more points in a half, he joined an elite group of Nuggets players that includes Jokic, Allen Iverson, and Nick Van Exel. Murray's ability to take over games, especially with his first half dominance last night, shows why he's one of the most dangerous guards in the league. His efficiency, hitting 12 out of 15 shots in the first half alone, was a key factor in the Nuggets' success. Westbrook's contributions can't be overlooked. Despite often being misunderstood, his impact on this team is enormous. He's one of only 2 players, along with Jokic, to record more than 150 points, 50 rebounds, and 50 assists so far in 2025. His all-around game makes him an invaluable asset, even as he continues to play at a high level late in his career. The chemistry between Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook is what makes this team so special. Jokic's ability to facilitate the offense allows Murray and Westbrook to shine in their respective roles. Murray's scoring explosion last night wasn't just a product of his own talent, it was also fueled by Jokic's passing, as 10 assists often turned into points for Murray. Westbrook's hustle and defensive effort created extra possessions, which the Nuggets turned into scoring opportunities. The balance this trio provides is unmatched. Jokic's triple-double wasn't just another impressive stat line, it was the foundation of the Nuggets' offense. His ability to rebound and distribute the ball ensures that everyone on the court is involved. Murray's scoring efficiency ensured that every possession mattered, as his ability to get buckets at an elite level kept the Mavericks on their heels. Westbrook's energy and defensive intensity added another layer to the team's dominance, ensuring that the Nuggets stayed in control from start to finish. Their advanced stats further highlight their greatness. Jokic's place as one of the league's all-time greats is solidified by his triple-doubles and his ability to impact every facet of the game. Westbrook, the all-time leader in triple-doubles, continues to contribute in ways that go beyond the box score. And Murray, with his ability to score in bunches and create for others, is proving why he's such a vital piece of this team. Even in a historical context, this trio stands out. Jokic's achievements put him alongside legends like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Larry Bird. Westbrook's legacy as a triple-double king is unmatched, and his contributions this season only add to his Hall of Fame resume. Murray's scoring prowess and efficiency are putting him in the conversation as one of the best guards in the league. The Nuggets' success isn't just about talent, it's about teamwork. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook have created a system where everyone knows their role and executes it to perfection. Their performances last night against Dallas were a perfect example of how this team operates. Jokic set the tone with his playmaking and rebound. Murray delivered a scoring clinic, and Westbrook brought the kind of hustle and effort that every championship team needs. This season, the Nuggets have established themselves as one of the best teams in the league, and it's all thanks to this trio. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook aren't just putting up numbers. They're winning games and setting a standard for what team basketball should look like. Their ability to complement each other, share the workload, and execute at a high level is what makes them so special. Last night's game wasn't just a win for the Nuggets, it was a statement. Jokic's triple-double, Murray's scoring explosion, and Westbrook's all-around contributions showed exactly why this team is a contender. They've proven that when these three are on the court together, they're nearly impossible to stop. Watching them play is a reminder of why basketball is such a beautiful game, and their performances against the Mavericks were just another example of what makes this Nuggets team so exciting. But for this trio, it's really when you dive into their advanced stats for the season, you see how good they truly are. These three have been putting up some of the most impressive advanced scoring stats in the league, and it's honestly hard to keep up with how dominant they've been. What's so incredible is how their styles complement each other perfectly. Jokic is scoring 31.2 points per game, which is just insane. That's better than 99% of players, but what really sets him apart is how efficient he's doing it. His effective field goal percentage is sitting at 60.6%. Think about that for a second. He's not just scoring a ton, he's doing it in a way that makes every possession count. Murray, meanwhile, is adding 19 points per game, and his effective field goal percentage is a solid 50.1%. He's not just riding Jokic's coattails either. Murray's mixing in his own shots, from pull-up jumpers to three-pointers, and making defenses pay. Westbrook might not be scoring as much as Jokic or Murray, but his 13.2 points per game are nothing to scoff at. What's more impressive is how he's adapted his game to fit with them. His effective field goal percentage is 51.9%, which shows he's picking his spots wisely. When you've got three players on the court who can score with this kind of efficiency, how do you even defend that? True shooting percentage is another area where these three shine. Jokic's is a ridiculous 64%. That's the kind of number you see from a video game character, not a real-life NBA player. But Murray and Westbrook are holding their own too. Murray's true shooting percentage is 53.9%, and Westbrook's is 54%. These aren't just good numbers, they're great, especially when you consider how different their roles are. Jokic is the focal point, Murray is the secondary scorer, and Westbrook is the spark plug. Each of them is maximizing their scoring opportunities in their own way. What's crazy is how balanced their shot profiles are. Jokic is knocking down 9.7 two-pointers and 2.2 three-pointers per game, all on just over 21 attempts. That's efficiency at its finest. But then you look at Murray, who's hitting 4.8 two-pointers and 2.1 threes on 15.8 attempts. He's not just settling for outside shots. He's attacking the basket and keeping defenses on their toes. Westbrook adds another wrinkle to this equation with 3.8 two-pointers and 1.2 threes per game on 10.6 attempts. He's not just chucking shots, he's being methodical and making sure every possession counts. Free throws are another piece of the puzzle. Jokic is getting to the line 6.6 times per game, and he's making those trips count. Murray's at 3.7 attempts, while Westbrook is right behind him at 3.4. The consistency here is wild. These aren't just players who can score from the field, they're getting to the stripe and adding free points to the board. It's like a masterclass in how to keep the scoreboard moving. The points per possession numbers are where things really start to pop. Jokic is putting up 1.3 points per scoring attempt, which is mind-blowing. Murray and Westbrook aren't far behind, with 1.1 each. That might not sound like a big difference, but over the course of a game, it adds up fast. These guys aren't wasting possessions. Every trip down the floor is a chance to put points on the board, and they're capitalizing at an elite level. What makes this trio so special is how they play off each other. Jokic's ability to score efficiently opens up the floor for Murray and Westbrook. Defenses can't collapse on Jokic without leaving Murray open on the perimeter or Westbrook with a lane to attack. And when Murray gets hot, it forces defenses to stretch out, giving Jokic more room to operate inside. Westbrook's relentless energy and attacking mindset add another layer of unpredictability. He's not just scoring, he's creating chaos. And that chaos leads to opportunities for everyone else. Take their shot selection, for instance. Jokic's mix of inside dominance and outside touch forces defenses into impossible situations. Do you guard him tight and risk him driving past you, or do you sag off and give him an open look? Murray thrives in those moments, using his quick release and smooth handles to exploit any opening. And Westbrook, he's the ultimate wild card. Whether it's a pull-up jumper or a drive to the rim, he's always keeping defenders on edge. Even the advanced stats can't fully capture how fun this trio is to watch. Jokic's game is all about precision. Every shot feels like it's calculated, every move deliberate. Murray adds a bit of flair with his crafty footwork and ability to create space. And Westbrook, he's pure energy, attacking the rim like it owes him money. The balance between their styles is what makes them so dangerous. Let's not forget the volume they're putting up. Jokic is taking over 21 shots per game, and he's making every single one of them count. Murray's at nearly 16 attempts, and Westbrook's just over 10. Together, that's over 47 shots per game coming from 3 players, and the efficiency they're bringing to those attempts is staggering. Most teams would kill to have one player shooting at this level. The Nuggets have 3, and it's not just about the numbers. It's about what those numbers represent. Jokic's scoring shows his dominance and ability to take over games. Murray's steady production highlights his consistency and reliability as a second option. Westbrook's contributions demonstrate his willingness to adapt and find new ways to be effective. Together, they're redefining what it means to have a big 3 in today's NBA. What's so exciting is how sustainable this feels. Jokic isn't slowing down. His numbers are getting better every year. Murray's hitting his prime, and Westbrook's proving he's still got plenty left in the tank. The chemistry they've built is evident in every possession, every pass, every shot. They're not just playing basketball, they're orchestrating something special. This season has been a masterclass in advanced scoring. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook are showing that it's not just about putting up big numbers, it's about doing it efficiently, intelligently, and in a way that helps the team win. They're not just good, they're historically good. And the scary part, it feels like they're just getting started. But where it gets really crazy is when you look at their teamwork stats. What's wild is how these 3 are all contributing in unique ways. Yet the numbers show their combined impact is keeping this team humming at an elite level. Jokic stands out with a staggering mixed teamwork, ranking higher than 99% of players. That alone tells you how his presence changes everything for the Nuggets. But he's not just there to soak up attention. His offensive rating is a jaw-dropping 125.4, while his defensive rating is 113.8. Add those together, and you get a net rating of plus 11.6. That's absurd. When Jokic is on the floor, it feels like the Nuggets have an extra gear. But what's cool is how Murray slides right into the picture with his own stats. His mixed teamwork ranking is better than 91% of players, which is no small feat. And his offensive rating, 121.8. While it's slightly lower than Jokic's, it's still elite and shows just how efficient he is in creating points for the team. His defensive rating is 116.3. And while it's not as sharp as Jokic's, it still gets the job done when paired with his offensive firepower. That gives Murray a net rating of plus 5.5, which tells you he's a steadying force when it counts. Then there's Westbrook, whose mixed teamwork ranking might not seem as flashy at 41%, but don't let that fool you. His offensive rating is a strong 117.2, and his defensive rating of 115.1 means he's still a positive presence. His net rating of plus 2.1 shows that even when he's not the focal point, he's finding ways to contribute. Now let's talk about how these numbers blend together. The Nuggets have a dynamic where Jokic's massive plus-minus impact, nearly 70% of his games end with him in the positive, is the foundation. But then Murray and Westbrook chip in to make sure things don't fall apart when Jokic isn't carrying the full load. Murray's positive plus-minus percentage sits at 53.1%, while Westbrook's is 44.7%. Those may seem smaller, But when you stack that alongside Jokic, it balances out beautifully. Jokic's ability to create such a positive margin for his team is underscored by his on-off numbers. When he's on the floor, the Nuggets are an incredible 14.2 points better than when he's off. That's insane. It's like flipping a switch from good to great every time he steps on the court. Murray's on-off numbers are a solid +6, meaning he's consistently adding value whenever he's in the game. Westbrook, meanwhile, has a slight dip at -2.9, but that's more about how the team's rotations and roles are structured. He's not there to dominate every possession. He's there to inject energy and make plays when needed. The way these three balance each other out is honestly something to marvel at. Jokic is the engine, the guy who makes everything run smoothly and efficiently. His massive net rating and on-off impact are proof that when he's on the court, the Nuggets are a completely different team. But Murray adds that extra layer of reliability. His numbers might not leap off the page in the same way, but that consistency is invaluable. He's the type of player who keeps things steady, whether the team's up or down. And then you've got Westbrook, who thrives in chaos. His style might not always be the most efficient, but his ability to bring energy and take some of the burden off Jokic and Murray is crucial. When you've got two players like Jokic and Murray who are so good at sticking to the plan, having someone like Westbrook to mix things up can make all the difference. Another fascinating layer to all of this is how their teamwork stats show up across different types of games. Jokic's ability to stay in the positive in nearly 70% of games shows he's not just dominating in blowouts, he's also helping in tight games where every possession matters. Murray's 53% positive mark shows he's right there with him, making sure the team doesn't lose momentum. And even Westbrook, at 44%, is contributing in his own way, especially in games where his energy can tip the scales. What really stands out is how their advanced stats paint a picture of synergy. Jokic's offensive efficiency creates open looks for everyone else. Murray's ability to capitalize on those opportunities keeps defenses from collapsing too much on Jokic, and Westbrook's relentless attacking forces defenses to stay honest, even when he's not the most efficient scorer. It's a cycle where each player's strengths feed into the others, making the whole team better. Even their defensive contributions, while not as flashy, show the same kind of balance. Jokic's defensive rating of 113.8 might not scream elite defender, but it's part of why the team is so effective overall. Murray's 116.3 defensive rating shows he's holding his own, especially when he's tasked with guarding some of the league's best guards. And Westbrook, his 115.1 defensive rating, proves he's still got the hustle and intensity to make an impact on that end. It's the combination of these numbers that makes the Nuggets such a tough team to face. Jokic's efficiency and massive plus-minus impact set the tone. Murray's consistency and ability to stay positive keep the ship steady. And Westbrook's energy and unpredictability add that extra edge. They're not just three individual players putting up stats. They're a unit that's greater than the sum of its parts. This season, their teamwork has been on full display. It's not just about the wins and losses, it's about how they're winning. They're playing a brand of basketball that's efficient, balanced, and incredibly tough to stop. The advanced stats back it up, but more importantly, you can see it every time they step on the court. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook are proving that advanced stats aren't just numbers. They're a reflection of how impactful players can be when they know their roles and execute them to perfection. Watching them work together is a reminder of why basketball is such a beautiful game. But an even crazier thing is their ball handling stats. Jokic leads the charge with a ball handling ranking higher than 99% of players. That alone is incredible for someone of his size. He's putting up an astounding 9.9 assists per game, which translates to 23.4 points assisted. His assist percentage sits at 39.35%, meaning nearly 40% of his teammates' field goals are directly set up by Jokic when he's on the floor. That's wild. But Murray and Westbrook aren't far behind when it comes to making plays. Murray has a ball handling ranking better than 95% of players, while Westbrook edges him out at 96%. Murray is dishing out 6 assists per game, accounting for 14.2 points assisted, with an assist percentage of 21.91%. Meanwhile, Westbrook's numbers are just as impressive, with 6.8 assists per game, leading to 15.2 points assisted. His assist percentage is a remarkable 32.33%, putting him among the league's elite passers. What's fascinating is how these three handle turnovers. Jokic's turnover percentage is the lowest of the group at 8.57%. That means he's turning the ball over less than 9 times out of every 100 actions that conclude a play. For someone who touches the ball as much as Jokic, that's almost unbelievable. Murray's turnover percentage is right there with him at 8.47%. He's taking care of the ball at an elite level while still making plays. Westbrook's turnover percentage is higher at 13.04%, but that's expected given his aggressive style of play. He's always looking to make something happen, and sometimes that leads to riskier decisions. The balance between their ball handling, passing, and turnovers is what makes this trio so effective. Jokic's ability to handle the ball like a guard at his size is almost unfair. His 9.9 assists per game aren't just a testament to his skill, but also to how much trust the team has in him to run the offense. Murray complements that with his steady and reliable playmaking. His 6 assists per game might not pop off the page, but when you combine it with his low turnover rate, it's clear he's a vital cog in the machine. Westbrook, on the other hand, brings an edge to the group. His 6.8 assists per game and 32.33% assist rate show he's still one of the best at creating opportunities for his teammates. His style may lead to more turnovers, but that's the trade-off for having someone who can break down defenses and force opponents to react. Their combined ability to keep the ball moving is what separates the Nuggets from other teams. Jokic's assist percentage of 39.35% is ridiculous, but when you pair it with Murray's 21.91% and Westbrook's 32.33%, you start to see the bigger picture. This isn't a team relying on one player to make everything happen. They've got 3 players who can take over as primary ball handlers and playmakers at any given moment. Another impressive aspect is their ability to assist without wasting possessions. Jokic's low turnover rate of 8.57% highlights just how efficient he is. He's not just throwing the ball around, he's making calculated decisions that lead to buckets. Murray's 8.47% turnover rate is equally impressive. It's rare to see someone handle the ball as much as he does, while keeping mistakes to a minimum. Westbrook might have a higher turnover percentage, but that's part of his game. His willingness to push the pace and take risks creates opportunities that others wouldn't even see. It's a balance that works perfectly within the structure of the Nuggets offense. He's giving them a different look, one that keeps defenses guessing and forces them to adapt. What really stands out is how their ball handling translates into points. Jokic's 23.4 points assisted per game is absurd, but Murray's 14.2 and Westbrook's 15.2 add up quickly. Together, they're responsible for over 50 points created through assists every game. That's not just good, it's elite. The ball handling rankings tell the story of their impact. Jokic's 99% ranking is a reflection of his unique skill set. There's no one else in the league who can do what he does at his size. Murray's 95% ranking shows his ability to blend scoring and playmaking seamlessly. And Westbrook's 96% ranking is a testament to his ability to still thrive as a dynamic playmaker. Even at this stage of his career, their advanced stats also highlight their different roles. Jokic is the hub, orchestrating the offense and making sure everyone gets involved. Murray is the steady hand, keeping things under control and providing a reliable outlet. And Westbrook is the wild card, bringing energy and unpredictability that can change the game in an instant. Together, they're a nightmare for opposing defenses. Even their turnover numbers reflect their roles. Jokic's low turnover percentage shows his ability to handle the ball under pressure and make smart decisions. Murray's similar number highlights his consistency and reliability. And Westbrook's higher rate isn't a liability. It's a result of his aggressive mindset and willingness to take risks. The Nuggets have found a perfect balance between precision and creativity. Thanks to these 3, Jokic's calculated approach sets the tone, Murray's steadiness keeps things running smoothly, and Westbrook's energy provides the spark. They're not just good individually, they're great together. This season, their advanced ball handling stats have shown why they're so tough to beat. Jokic's efficiency, Murray's consistency, and Westbrook's creativity are combining to create one of the most dynamic offenses in the league. They're proving that when you've got 3 players who can handle the ball, make plays, and keep the turnovers in check, you've got a recipe for success. But we can't not look at their defense. The Denver Nuggets defensive core this season is built on the backs of Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Russell Westbrook. These 3 have been locking in on defense in ways that don't always make the highlight reel, but show up in the numbers. Their advanced defensive stats reveal how much they contribute to shutting down opponents and keeping games under control. Jokic has a mixed team defense ranking that's better than 86% of players, and that alone speaks volumes. His presence on the court helps the team maintain a defensive efficiency of 113.8. That's the kind of anchor any team dreams of. Jokic's defensive rebounding numbers are stellar. He's grabbing 9.6 boards a game on defense, which limits second chance opportunities for opponents. Add in his 1.8 steals per game, and you've got a player who disrupts passing lanes while also cleaning up the glass. Murray and Westbrook complement Jokic perfectly. Murray's mixed team defense ranking is better than 54% of players, and he's holding his own with 3.5 defensive rebounds per game. That's impressive for a guard, especially one who's also tasked with so much offensive responsibility. His 1.5 steals per game add another layer of value, showing he's not just a scorer, but a true two-way player. Westbrook, on the other hand, brings an intensity that's reflected in his numbers. His mixed team defense ranking sits higher than 67% of players, and he's pulling in 3.8 defensive rebounds a game. His defensive efficiency is 115.1, and his 1.6 steals per game make him a constant threat to force turnovers. While he's known for his offensive energy, Westbrook's ability to disrupt opposing players is a huge asset. What's fascinating is how these three work together to cover every angle. Jokic is the anchor, standing tall in the paint and making sure teams don't get easy looks near the basket. His 9.6 defensive rebounds per game ensure that once the Nuggets force a miss, they secure possession. Meanwhile, Murray and Westbrook patrol the perimeter, using their quickness and instincts to pressure ball handlers and force mistakes. Their ability to share the defensive workload is what makes the Nuggets so tough to break down. Jokic's 1.8 steals per game lead the group, but Murray and Westbrook aren't far behind, with 1.5 and 1.6, respectively. These numbers show that all three players are actively involved in disrupting the flow of opposing offenses. It's not just about one player making plays, it's a collective effort. The blocks are another layer of their defensive puzzle. Each of them is averaging 0.6 blocks per game, which might not seem like a lot, but it's the timing of those blocks that makes them so valuable. They're not out there chasing highlight swats. They're making smart decisions and stepping up when it counts. Together, they're combining for nearly 2 blocks a game, which is a testament to their awareness and positioning. Defensive efficiency ties everything together. Jokic's 113.8 rating is the best of the group, showcasing how his presence stabilizes the entire team's defense. Westbrook's 115.1 and Murray's 116.3 aren't far off. And when you combine these numbers, it's clear they're all pulling their weight. This kind of balance makes it hard for opponents to exploit any single player, which is a big reason why the Nuggets have been so solid defensively. Their rebounding numbers are another area where their teamwork shines. Jokic dominates with 9.6 defensive rebounds per game, but Murray's 3.5 and Westbrook's 3.8 show they're doing their part too. These aren't empty stats. Every rebound means the Nuggets are closing out possessions and keeping the game in their control. Even the steals show their versatility. Jokic's 1.8 steals per game might be the standout stat, but it's Murray's and Westbrook's consistency that makes the difference. With 1.5 and 1.6 steals per game, they're ensuring that the Nuggets have multiple players capable of forcing turnovers. This balance is crucial because it keeps opponents guessing and makes it hard for them to establish any rhythm. What really stands out about this trio is their ability to defend as a unit. Jokic's mixed team defense ranking in the top 86% highlights his ability to control the paint, but it's the way Murray and Westbrook back him up that makes this team so tough. Westbrook's ranking in the top 67% and Murray's in the top 54% might not sound as flashy, but together they create a defensive wall that's hard to break. Their numbers don't just reflect individual brilliance, they tell the story of a group that's greater than the sum of its parts. Jokic might be grabbing the headlines with his defensive rebounding and steals, but Murray's ability to stay active on the perimeter and Westbrook's relentless energy make them a well-rounded trio. They're not just good at defending their own assignments, they're great at covering for each other and making the entire team better. This season, the Nuggets' defense has been built on the foundation of these three players. Jokic's dominance in the paint, Murray's consistency on the perimeter, and Westbrook's knack for creating chaos all come together to form a defensive unit that's as balanced as it is effective. It's not about one player carrying the load, It's about all three of them working in sync to shut down opponents and get the job done. But I do want to check out their usage stats. Their advanced usage stats paint a clear picture of a trio that knows exactly how to operate within an offensive system. It's not just about putting up numbers. It's about how they share the load, make the most of their opportunities, and elevate the team as a whole. Let's start with Jokic, whose usage rate of 30.6% is not only elite, but ranks higher than 96% of players in the league. That stat alone tells you just how integral he is to what the Nuggets do on offense. Nearly 1/3 of the team's offensive plays end with Jokic taking action, whether it's a shot, a trip to the free throw line, an assist, or occasionally a turnover. His numbers back it up. 21.4 field goal attempts per game, 6.6 free throw attempts, 9.9 assists, and only 3.2 turnovers. Jokic is at the center of everything, and his ability to handle such a massive role with efficiency is what makes him one of the best in the game. Murray complements Jokic perfectly with a usage rate of 23.4%, which is better than 79% of players. While his role isn't as dominant, he's equally effective in the opportunities he gets. Murray is taking 15.8 shots per game, heading to the free throw line 3.7 times, and dishing out 6 assists while keeping his turnovers low at just 2.2 per game. His 74.6 possessions played per game show that he's consistently involved in the offense, always ready to make an impact when called upon. And then there's Westbrook, whose usage rate of 22.7% ranks higher than 75% of players. His role may be slightly smaller, but it's just as critical to the team's success. Westbrook is taking 10.6 field goal attempts per game, getting to the line 3.4 times, and handing out 6.8 assists. While he's slightly more prone to turnovers with 2.8 per game, his aggressiveness and energy make up for it. His 58.4 possessions played reflect a complementary role where he can come in, provide a spark, and keep the offense running smoothly. What makes this trio so special is how their roles interconnect. Jokic, with his high usage rate, is the engine that drives the team. He's not just a scorer, he's a facilitator who creates opportunities for everyone around him. Those 9.9 assists per game aren't just numbers. They're evidence of a player who's mastered the art of making his teammates better. Murray brings balance to the equation. His usage rate might not be as high as Jokic's, but that's by design. He knows how to pick his spots and capitalize on them, whether it's creating for himself or setting up his teammates. His 6 assists per game and low turnover rate are proof of his reliability. He's not wasting possessions. He's making the most of them. Westbrook adds a different dynamic. His usage rate fits perfectly within the Nuggets system, allowing him to play to his strengths without disrupting the flow. Those 6.8 assists per game and his ability to get to the line consistently show that he's still a playmaker at heart. While his turnover rate is slightly higher, it's a trade-off the team is willing to make for the energy and unpredictability he brings. The balance between their shot attempts is another fascinating aspect of their usage stats. Jokic leads the way with 21.4 shots per game, but Murray's 15.8 and Westbrook's 10.6 ensure that the offense doesn't become too predictable. Each player brings a unique approach to scoring, which keeps defenses guessing. Jokic's ability to dominate in the paint and stretch the floor, Murray's knack for hitting from mid-range and beyond, and Westbrook's aggressive drives to the basket create a three-headed monster that's incredibly hard to stop. Free throws are another area where their balance shines. Jokic's 6.6 attempts per game lead the group, but Murray's 3.7 and Westbrook's 3.4 show that they're all capable of drawing fouls and putting pressure on the defense. These trips to the line not only add easy points, but also disrupt the rhythm of opposing teams. Their assist numbers are where the magic truly happened. Jokic's 9.9 assists per game are in a league of their own, but Murray's 6 and Westbrook's 6.8 are equally valuable. Together, they're accounting for over 22 assists per game. That level of playmaking ensures that everyone on the court is involved, making the Nuggets offense one of the most dynamic in the league. Turnovers are another piece of the puzzle. Jokic's 3.2 turnovers per game might seem high, but when you consider his usage rate and the number of possessions he plays, 78.9, it's remarkably efficient. Murray and Westbrook are even more careful with the ball, averaging just 2.2 and 2.8 turnovers per game, respectively. Possessions played is another stat that highlights their roles. Jokic is involved in 78.9 possessions per game, which is no surprise given his central role. Murray's 74.6 possessions show that he's just as integral, while Westbrook's 58.4 reflect his ability to make the most of his time on the floor. Their advanced usage stats don't just show individual brilliance. They tell the story of a team that knows how to share the load. Jokic's high usage rate could easily overshadow his teammates, but instead, it opens up opportunities for Murray and Westbrook. Murray's steady hand and Westbrook's energy create a perfect balance, ensuring that the Nuggets are never relying too heavily on one player. This season, the Nuggets have proven that having three players with such diverse usage profiles can be a recipe for success. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook are redefining what it means to share the offensive load. It's not just about how much you're involved. It's about what you do with those opportunities. Jokic's ability to handle such a high usage rate without sacrificing efficiency is what sets him apart. His 9.9 assists per game and 6.6 trips to the line are proof that he's not just a scorer, he's a creator. Murray's balanced approach, with 6 assists and just 2.2 turnovers per game, makes him the ideal complement. And Westbrook's energy, highlighted by his 6.8 assists and aggressive drives to the basket, adds an edge that keeps opponents on their heels. Together, these three are showing that advanced usage stats aren't just numbers, they're a reflection of how well a team functions. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook are a masterclass in teamwork, efficiency, and execution. It's been incredible to watch them take these numbers and turn them into wins on the court. The Nuggets offense this season is proof that when you have three players who understand their roles and execute them at a high level, you can achieve something truly special. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook are leading the way, and their advanced usage stats are just the beginning of what makes this team so dangerous. Overall, though, this season, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Russell Westbrook have been nothing short of phenomenal for the Denver Nuggets. From their advanced scoring, ball handling, defensive, and usage stats, it's clear this trio is operating on a level that few teams can match. Jokic's ability to dominate every facet of the game, from scoring efficiently to dishing out nearly 10 assists per game, makes him the linchpin of the team. Murray's steady hand, with his balanced offensive approach and two-way consistency, ensures the Nuggets always have a reliable option to turn to. Westbrook's energy and versatility, with his ability to spark the team as both a playmaker and an aggressive scorer, add an unpredictable edge that keeps defenses guessing. Together, they've created an offensive and defensive balance that's as effective as it is entertaining. Jokic's high usage rate anchors the team, allowing him to set the tone on nearly every possession. Murray complements him perfectly, finding his spots and delivering with precision, while Westbrook's dynamic presence keeps the pace high and the pressure on. Defensively, their collective efforts, Jokic's rebounding, Murray's perimeter activity, and Westbrook's ability to disrupt, show that this team isn't just about putting up points, but also about controlling games on both ends of the court. The numbers tell a story of dominance, efficiency, and teamwork, but watching them play takes it to another level. Jokic, Murray, and Westbrook have shown that it's not just about individual talent, it's about how those talents come together to make a team better. This season, the Nuggets have been something special, and this trio is at the heart of it all. Their impact isn't just seen in the stats, it's felt in the way they've made the Nuggets one of the most exciting and formidable teams in the league. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.